I summon thee. Tessera, I summon thee. From pits beyond, from beneath dead trees, be it he or she, breathe for me, make a cube of my enemy. The boy is drenched in the blood of a black goat, his body washed in it, bathed in the flesh of the animal. He sits in a sigil drawn with the animal's blood, not a summoning circle, but a summoning square. Candles burn on all points of the square, black wax dripping, little flames fluttering in a vast space of pitted concrete and moth-eaten curtains. The words are spoken, but nothing comes, nothing except for the cold breath expelled from the boy's chapped lips. His eyes are languid, his body tense, but the abandoned mill remains deathly still. A few fireflies drift in from shattered windows. It is summer, blazing summer. So when the boy's breath does taste so frigid in his lungs, why is that? The bringer of the cold emerges moments later, detaching itself from the gloom beyond the summoning square. It's a cold so persistent that it burns, the boy in danger of frostbite, not for the binding powers of the blood magic. Tessera is a horror to behold. It is a cube of stitched, sewn flesh, faces, bound limbs, eyes that drip with yellowed pus, all this malformed meat packed and molded into a perfect geometrical cube. It creeps toward the boy on thousands of tiny insect legs, little millipede appendages that somehow bear the weight of the cube. Sweat drips into the eyes of the boy, catching in his long lashes. It looks like a bleeding box shambling towards him. It stops inches from the border of the summoning square, simply watching the boy with those bulging eyes. It seems to watch him with general disinterest. A mouth stretches wide in the glistening meat of this box thing. No teeth within, only a multitude of forked tongues that protrude down from dull gray gums. It speaks to the boy in a lisping whisper. What dost thou want? A death. Can you give it that? I can giveth many things. The death of whom? His name is Boone. I want it to be slow. It will be however it will be. Why him? He stole a beautiful woman from me. Her name is Rebecca. He is rich, handsome, everything that I'm not. I covet what he has taken. Tessera laughs. It has a laugh like dancing children in a desolate boneyard. The forked tongues lick up bodily juices that constantly drip from that square, gaping mouth. A delicious sin to covet something another has. Do you know the price? I know. Pay. The boy reaches down into his tattered shorts, retrieving a rusty shank made from cloth and a sharpened piece of tin. He brings the shank to his chest, and he very slowly begins cutting a perfect square to his skin, hurting, bleeding, and trying not to weep in front of this abomination. Finally he peels it away, a scrape of flesh in the shape of a perfect square, his viscera showing beneath. The boy tosses the square of skin to Tessera. The abomination scrabbles forward on those tiny legs and picks it up with a long, slithering forked tongue. It places the piece of skin along the side of its own inconceivable form, and the skin melds there, hissing for a moment as it becomes part of Tessera. Good skin, a soft part from a smart boy. It shall be done. Lead him to the box. He must enter the box. I have dominion only over such places on the earthly plane. How will I do it? It is a strange thing to ask a man to enter a cardboard box. He'll be suspicious. You misunderstand, son of Adam. Your world is full of boxes now. Cubes and squares and rectangular edifices. An elevator is a box. A telephone booth is a box. A portable toilet where your sons of Adam and daughters of Eve take your messy shits is a box as well. Just lead your rival to the box of your choosing, and I will do the rest. And our covenant ends? An end, boy. Flesh you have given, flesh you will get. There's a scrabbling sound as the abomination moves backward into the shadows. The presence of the box thing fades, that acrid scent of sulfur finally leaving the boy's nostrils. The boy sees Boone holding her hand as they walk towards the county fair gate, the Ferris wheel rolling on the distant horizon, hoots and hollers of joy coming from the rides and the game booths. The boy boils with hatred seeing that petite hand in Boone's dirty paw. Rebecca breaks from him and enters one of the portable toilets, leaving Boone to light up a cigarette outside. One of the portable toilets has a malfunctioning door, the blue barrister seeming to hang halfway off the hinges. Boone never sees the boy coming. He rushes forward in a burst of palms, pushing Boone against the chest and knocking him into the portable toilet, before slamming the door on him and barring it with his own back. There are shouts and threats from within. There is a pounding of balled fists on the inner door. The boy struggles to keep the door closed, and then quite suddenly, there is an implosion from within. Fine red mist sprays out from the ventilation grills at the top of the portable toilet. No more voice from inside, just a brief sound of bones rearranging and organs flattening like pancakes. After a prolonged period of oppressive quiet, the boy opens the door. There is no more Boone. There, seated on the top of the closed toilet lid, is an unrecognizable cube of former flesh, arms bent inward, legs twisted and looped like spaghetti strands, eyes staring out, bleeding and unseeing, and a mouth with lifeless lips, still clinging to a cigarette that continues to burn. His rival is just a mangled cube now, and there is nothing to envy about a cube. The boy smiles. The torn skin bandaged beneath his t-shirt even seems to pain him a little less. The boy goes to the portable toilet where Rebecca is still doing her business. The sun is setting, the perfect time for a cool night at the country fair. The boy waits for her to open the door, smiling all the while.